Karnataka is voting today. 224 seats of Karnataka Assembly would be seeing a tight contest between the BJP and the Congress, and in some places, of course, the JDS Congress and JDS BJP as well. It will be important election in the context of 2024 as well, how the people decide and vote. Remember, in the last election in 2018, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party which emerged as the single largest party, but the Congress and the JDS formed the government, and 13 months later, then there was change of guard with the BJP coming to power after the Congress leaders, MLAs, their legislators broke away from the party. Let's very quickly at this moment also go across to my colleague Srija, who spoke earlier to some prominent Bengalurans coming out and voting at this moment.
Let me go across to Dr. Shetty here. This is in BTM Assembly constituency in Kormangla. He just franchised his exercise. So we see that, what are the key issues? One of the foremost medical minds is joining us. What are the key issues that you have voted this time?
First of all, we want a very assertive government to rule the state and have a good leadership so that the civic communities, healthcare, education, everything improves. That is the whole idea of coming and voting. Yes.
Okay, have you actually thought about, when you actually cast your vote, these are the changes that you are looking forward to in a society?
I'm very, very optimistic about the new government addressing most of the civic issues what we are facing, and I expect a dramatic transformation in city like Bangalore, which will set an example for the other cities and other states to follow. We are very privileged to be in the state of Karnataka. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Shetty, for joining us here on NDTV. In fact, one of the foremost medical minds who just spoke to NDTV, he did, of course, highlight saying that how Bengaluru should set an example, and also, in fact, in terms of there are areas for scope for improvement in areas like development, infrastructure, civic woes are something which he said need to be addressed. So we've always seen Bengaluru per se, if you're talking about the urban apathy. Back in 2018, it stood just about 55 to 57%. Are you hoping there will be some change this time?
I'm hopeful. I'm certainly hopeful, because I think these are important elections. These are important elections not just for your and my future. It is important election for the future of the city, Namma Bengaluru, which is a proud city. It is a city that has so much of history and so much of future potential. These elections are about the future of Bengaluru. These elections are about the future of Karnataka, and in a lot of ways it's about the future of India as well. So I am requesting again, our Prime Minister and everybody has requested each and every one of you to come exercise your franchise, participate in this once in 5 year celebration of democracy, be part of this active democracy, show the country, show the city, and show the world that you are active, aware, enlightened citizens who understand their fundamental rights as well as their fundamental duties to not just our city but our state and our country.
One final question. We've always seen revolving door politics since 1985. How hopeful is the Saffron Party here?
No, I think the voters of Karnataka certainly know and have suffered. They know they're suffering for the last 65 years of unstable politics, coalition politics. We have seen in 2018 as well what happens when they just give a party like BJP the single largest party. So therefore our call this time has been for a decisive, clear mandate, so that there are 5 years of stable government, and the focus is on economic development and progress and opportunities for every citizen of Karnataka.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishamgarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that. कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया?
Welcome back. Now, typically, Bengaluru and the urban areas of Karnataka are known for their apathy as far as the voting day is concerned. Thankfully, this time it's not a weekend, so not an extended weekend holiday for a lot of Bengalurans. Those who have a lot of complaints about infrastructure, but do Bengalurans come out and vote? That's a big question. Last time also, there was a sharp difference in the overall voting percentage of Karnataka and the city of Bengaluru. But there are few, those who have come out and are quite inspiring. Take a look at my colleague Shrija speaking to a 100-year-old voter, quite excited to come out and vote. You should also do the same.
So here at a voting booth in Koramangala, we have with us a 100-year-old voter, G. Narasimhaya. So you've come to cast your vote.
Yes.
Okay. How excited are you? You are
Yes,
excited.
I am very good, very waiting for this day.
Okay. Do you have anything on your mind? What is the
No.
change that you're looking
No,
at?
no, I am quite normal.
You're fine. How happy are you that you're voting at 100?
Yes, I am waiting for this day.
Okay, well, I wish you all the best for the next 5-year term as well, that you come back and vote.
Then my time.
10 more years.
He has in his mind, I believe.
Lovely, that's great that, God bless you for that. In fact, a 100-year-old voter also sitting here to wish that he would actually vote for the next 2 terms as well. But a few issues that, of course, he says that he's pretty happy about his constituency, but, exuding confidence in the newly elected government here, and we are looking at several voters who have also come in, especially in this particular constituency, to cast their vote. Some of the key issues, as discussed by a few voters, have always been basically civic woes, infrastructure. Those are certain areas which some of the voters have stressed upon the need of change.
powered by 20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alida Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching NDTV. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily these Congress people charging corruption charges.
BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two.
Good morning and welcome to this special coverage on NDTV. Karnataka is voting today for 224-member assembly of the state of Karnataka. 2018, the BJP was the single largest party, but the government was formed by a coalition of the Congress and the JDS, which lasted only 13 months. Now, will the BJP create history by coming back to power in this revolving door of politics that we have seen in Karnataka? And also, can any political party win a clear majority? Because we've seen hung verdicts in Karnataka in the last few elections. Or can the Congress win this election, which is being seen as quite an important election for the revival of the Congress party ahead of 2024? All those questions are being answered by the voters as they press that button on the EVM. My colleague Gargi and I will take you through what's happening throughout the state this morning. Let's very quickly, Gargi, let's first of all go across.
We can see Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman earlier on, and one of the first to cast their votes was Yediyurappa, who came out with his son, and he again said that the BJP will come back in a majority, and so Yediyurappa playing a key role in this election. Ankit, the one that he is not fighting, of course, he's retired from electoral politics. Let's go across to our colleagues. We're joined by Shrija and Pratibha at the polling booths there, and they've been interviewing people and talking to voters, talking to many of the politicians, as well as some of the eminent personalities of Bengaluru who've arrived to cast their vote. Shrija, first to you, tell us what's happening over there.
Well, this is the Malleshwaram constituency, and there has been, the voter turnout has been pretty much good as far as since the morning is concerned. And we, of course, try to talk to a few citizens, some of the key areas of scope of improvement, which they, of course, did try to focus on is in terms of civic infrastructure and, of course, rejuvenation of lakes. So these issues have remained constant, especially for the people in Malleshwaram constituency. The Malleshwaram constituency, as we speak, it is a stronghold of the BJP, and the BJP's candidate, Mr. Ashwath Narayan, who is also a sitting minister. In fact, he is looking for another term from this very constituency. And speaking to a few voters, we also understand, they were talking about some of the civic issues that needed to be focused. Let's talk to some of the voters who've just cast their vote. Yes. So, what were the key issues that you had on your mind before casting your vote?
I had development of India in my mind, and it's only Modi, nothing else. He has put our name in the world map. India is now in the world map. That's what made a lot of difference to me.
That's what has made difference. Okay, maybe I could. If I could go across to more voters. So, what were the issues that you thought before, for a change and for an improvement, and you cast your vote?
Actually, I casted vote, but the queue is very long in one booth.
In your area, in your constituency, what are the areas of improvement?
Almost it is improved here. It's not a problem. Much problem is there in our area.
Okay. Any issues that need to be addressed in your area? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Okay. Seems like Malleshwaram constituency is so perfect for the voters here that they don't see there is any area of improvement at all.
Shrija, so enthusiastic voters, that man complaining of long queues. We are hoping that those queues continue and Bengaluru is able to do away with that infamous tag of voters and apathy. Let's go across to Pratibha now. Pratibha, I can
was
see...
busy chatting with some of those voters in the line. Both Shrija and Pratibha are talking to a lot of elderly voters, and we hope the young ones also come out to cast their vote, because Bengaluru, Ankit, as we were discussing, has seen a lot of citizen activism, and this is where you put your money where your mouth is. Come out and cast your vote. You have no right, as Narayan Murthy said in that interview to us, to complain if you're not going to cast your vote. Absolutely.
Let's go across to Pratibha. Pratibha, if you can hear us. All right, I think now she can hear us. Pratibha, yes. If you can hear us, we can see long queues behind you. Just give our viewers a sense of what is Bengaluru thinking this morning.
In fact, Bengaluru has often been known for its voter apathy, and this time around, several polling booths have also several polling personnel have taken initiatives to make sure that polling booths have certain themes around them. Around 246 polling booths that have been installed in and around Bengaluru to attract voters. And this time, what is interesting is that the voting date falls on a weekday, and Bengalurians are hoping that the reputation of Bengaluru, known for its voter apathy, would actually really turn around. Madam, many a times Bengaluru different voters haven't really turned up. 55% voter turnout. This time, do you think it will change? Yes, definitely it will change.
There are people coming out to vote.
Right. Yes. What are the issues that you have in mind? Are you satisfied with the local issues here with respect to roti, kapda, makan, infrastructure, anything at all?
Yeah, as of now, everything seems good and they have worked on it and we are happy with it.
Right. So what about you, ma'am? Do you think that national issues will also take over this time?
No, everything is doing good. No, we are fine and we are happy with it.
Right. So since you have been very eager to speak with the media,
speak in
right.
Kannada only.
Okay,
You
sir,
just
please tell me in
Yeah,
Kannada.
okay, ಹೇಳಿ.
ಏನೇನ್ issues ಇದೆ
ನೋಡಿ,
ನಿಮ್ಮ mind ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರೇ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ನಾವು ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಸಿಗೋ ತರದವನು MLA ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಕ್ ನಾವು ಯಾರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ರೈಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮೊದಲು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇದು. ಯಾರೇ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂತಾನೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ವೀರೇಂದ್ರ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ದೇವ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಿ
ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಗೂ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ?
ನಾನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಯಾರು ನಮ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ದು ಏನೇನು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್
So it has to be candidate centric.
No. Let us speak in Kannada only. You also speak in Kannada only.
Right. It has to be candidate. Yes, it has to be candidate centric, and most of them saying that accessibility of politicians is one of the issues that they would keep in mind before really casting their vote. Back to you.
You know, and let's get Veera Raghav in on this as well. That man insisting speak in Kannada. That's the regional pride which the Congress also try and play with Nandini versus Amul and all those issues. And this is very, very important in context of Karnataka. The Kannadiga pride plays an important role across regions in the state, Veera.
I guess every regional state has that bit, and when you provoke it, it obviously becomes an issue. But it's never really been. This is also, remember, amongst all the southern states, Ankit, this is the one state which has been firmly national in its character. You had the Congress and Janata movement earlier as the key players, and then you have now the BJP versus Congress. It's the only BJP versus Congress majority. Obviously, JDS is a player as well in the south of India. So yes, that sense of language and pride is there. However, it's not as turned and political as one would see in a state like Tamil Nadu, where it is extremely aggressive in this one. It is an extremely cosmopolitan state compared to anything else. While you may see an issue that's playing out once in a while that language and regional pride, insider versus outsider debate, all these things come, I don't think that's the overarching narrative of the state. If there is a more, I wonder if there is a more tolerant state in terms of accommodation. Even Bangalore city itself is extremely cosmopolitan in nature. However, this narrative does exist, like you heard the old gentleman there, and I think that's primarily to assert the need to propagate Kannada as well.
I think that's also in a way makes Karnataka quite unique, that it's also immune in that sense to large attempt of religious polarization in that sense as well, because of many of these factors. As if you contrast it with what would play in an Uttar Pradesh, a Bajrang Bali issue could have turned the election in Uttar Pradesh, possibly not the same kind of impact as far as Karnataka is concerned.
And I'm talking about the Kannadiga pride and Karnataka pride. That's something that Sonia Gandhi referred to when she spoke about sovereignty of Karnataka. She said, she claimed threats being made by the BJP, but that in itself was turned against her by the BJP, where they said that it was a secessionist statement. So that was, one of those controversies we saw playing out in the last couple of days of campaigning. But Pratibha, speaking to a lot of women voters, and Pratibha, women voters is something that has also been quite in focus during this election. The party is trying to reach out to the women voters. The Congress in its 5 guarantees, very prominent, promises to women in the state.
That's right. If we are talking about around 5 crore eligible voters in Karnataka, at least 2 crore 65 lakhs of women voters is what we are talking about when it comes to Karnataka election. And let me go across to a couple of women voters, ma'am. Sorry. I'm sure you've come to exercise your democratic right. Do you have any kind of key issue in mind?
No, I don't want to be a part of this, sorry.
Right. So let me go across to a couple of other women here. Ma'am, ಏನೇನು issues ಇದೆ mind ಅಲ್ಲಿ before you cast your vote today?
ತುಂಬಾ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Right. ಏನೇನು issues? Public transport, roads.
ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ.
Okay. So most of them are local issues.
Yes, yes, local issues.
Right. Most of them are local issues. They want good transport. They want good roads and infrastructure. And these are the issues that they are keeping in mind. Unlike the Jayanagar polling booth that we saw a couple of minutes ago, where national issues took a lot of prominence there. In fact, to give you a brief about this Puttanahalli as an area, which is really grappling with last mile connectivity. There is no real metro station here, and these are some of the issues that people will be definitely holding in mind before casting their vote. But when it comes to Bengaluru, voter apathy is one of the key issues. 2018 elections saw a voter turnout of 55%, and this time around Bengaluru is hoping to change that reputation altogether.
You know, talking about the women voters, in fact, there was one Indian Express report which said that about 112, if I'm not mistaken, constituency out of 224, the women voters outnumber the male voters in those constituencies. They are quite important, and that's why every political party has gone on a limb to try and attract that voters. Not only just the Congress with their, manifesto and guarantees, the BJP with their cylinder and Nalini, milk, and plus, very interestingly, JDS jumped in by saying that they will give some sort of a stipend or money to a woman who gets married to in the farmer's family. So a lot of attractive schemes as far as women are concerned. But Veera Raghav, that also brings out the contrast as far as the Karnataka politics is concerned. There are very vocal, women, but not many candidates as far as the women are concerned across political parties. Even at this point of time, if you look at it, I think it's just about 7% of the entire candidates are women this time. Though some prominent ones like Soumya Reddy in Jayanagar, quite an interesting constituency.
No, not prominent, but the only woman MLA, from Bengaluru. That makes her prominent. Well, yes, I think true. That's a real issue that needs to be taken up. Perhaps even a city like Bengaluru could elect far more women legislatures, and I think that's an issue that needs to be taken out. It is. Perhaps across the political spectrum in India, it's not just specific to Karnataka or Bengaluru, but perhaps across the political spectrum in India. Perhaps Bengaluru could lead the way, but for the moment in this election, Bengaluru should lead the way in terms of voter, shrugging off voter apathy and turning around and saying that the city is as connected to the local grassroots of Karnataka politics as it is to the Silicon Valley or the Silicon Valley Bank collapse in the United States or the tech products that come out of there. So that's, I think, the message that Bengaluru should be looking at in these elections, Ankit.
Right, Ankit, and you were speaking about the issue of the Bajrang Dal and how that was also used against the Congress, and the Bajrang Bali became the big cry during the rallies of the BJP. But how big of an impact, V. Raghav, do you feel that has on the ground, or is it the tweaking of quota that probably appeals more to people and brings more of them in support of perhaps the BJP?
Neither of these issues seem to have dominated the narrative. Well, these are efforts and campaigns that have taken over. However, I don't think this has been the overarching narrative of the BJP. Overarching narrative of this election. The BJP had also hoped that, given that the entire campaign was revolving around the Prime Minister, it could turn the narrative on national issues. I think the Congress has firmly kept its narrative on local issues. In terms of impact, I think it would be unfair to assess all of this right now. Perhaps we could talk about it on the 13th of May. But in terms of larger mind space, I think while these issues have been raised, it may not have been the overarching narrative. As Ankit was pointing out earlier, I think it's important to understand that the different regions of Karnataka, Gargi, I think you pointed out as well, different regions of Karnataka vote very differently. So there has not been one overarching issue that can unite all regions or all sections and become the central theme of an election campaign. And I think that's why the electoral dynamics of Karnataka result in hung assemblies often in the last couple of decades, and also close majority victories that are there, which is why this is always an election. While the results may eventually seem like it's a clear win for one party or another, it may or may not. In terms of vote shares and in terms of the seats, if you see, there are several close contests that work out. So, long answer short, I don't think those issues that you're pointing out, whether it was the quota or the Bajrang Dal issue or other narratives that one has seen, which have been charged and personal attacks, I don't think they have been the dominant theme of these elections. They have diluted in many ways the focus on local issues towards the end of the campaign. We'll have to wait and see before we assess.
Right, and Ankit and Raghav, you've both been talking about the importance of local leaders, and that is a big, issue in Karnataka. The local leader belonging to whichever party, he can even switch parties and still maintain his, vote base. And this is something the BJP also trying to override with the Prime Minister's campaigning. We saw his, so many electoral meetings he held, road shows that he held, that a bit of the Gujarat formula or the Gujarat, campaign formula that they have, trying it out in Karnataka as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see till the evening exit polls and the results on the 13th, how much that played into it. But yes, it was a huge talking point in the last couple of days. The Prime Minister in Karnataka for 3 days straight.
That's right. When you talk of moving from Karnataka model to Gujarat model, this is what I was referring to. There are three kinds of seats. One are the party seats as far as the BJP is concerned. Seats where the party can hold its sway irrespective of the candidate. Seats where it's entirely dependent on the candidate. As I pointed out earlier, seats like, for instance, the Jarkioli brothers in Belgaum. 3 brothers, 1 from Congress, 2 from BJP contesting. They can shift sides and yet take their seat along. In fact, one of the reasons why Deputy Chief Minister of the BJP, Lakshman Sabdi, left the party was because Mahesh Kumtali, who he is contesting against in Attorney as a Congress candidate now, is the one who defeated him as a Congress candidate in 2018. Kumtali shifted to the BJP and is now contesting as a BJP candidate. There are 17, as you know, shifted over from the Congress and JDS to the BJP. So this candidate power is something that has contained parties from making larger differences. I think even when there is an opposition, there is often a feeling of, what they call, quote unquote, match fixing between 2 powerful political leaders in a constituency or for a particular area. So these are things that have contained some of the experiments that political parties would like to do in Karnataka. Of course, Congress, largely a widespread party which has a larger base in terms of it. BJP, of course, wanting to shake off that power of the candidates in several cases.
And that reflects in the way the Congress gets, mostly gets a bigger vote share, though the conversion into the seats has not been as effective as we have seen as far as the BJP is concerned.
That's because, Ankit, just to add, that's because the Congress fights 2 battles. One is Congress versus BJP and Congress versus JDS. So if, let's say, the Congress increases its vote share in JDS regions, it could eventually walk away with a huge vote share. But in terms of seats, it may not. Like last time in 2018, Congress got 38%, BJP 36%, but look at the number of seats difference.
And similarly, JDS also has a very good conversion rate in the number of seats.
That's right, because they're pocketed.
With 18 to 20, exactly, and JDS for the dominance that they have in that pocket. And important this election, I think the baseline of this election is going to be how the Congress JDS battle in the old Mysuru region falls. I mean, and that possibly could be the deciding factor as far as this, one of the important deciding factors as far as this election is concerned. But, like we were talking about the Prime Minister, Gargi, this is, the Prime Minister is, since the time Narendra Modi has come onto the national scene from 2014, he has given an edge as far as the BJP is concerned with the way he campaigns, with the amount of time that he spends and the connect that he has. But this Karnataka election, and it's a theory and we'll discuss this more, would be different from what the BJP saw in 2018 and the effective campaign of the Prime Minister. That degree might also vary because 2018, remember, was the first time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as the Prime Minister, was asking votes for an assembly election in Karnataka. In 2013, it was Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Siddaramaiah came to power. And also the advantage of the BJP at this point of time was that they were fighting an incumbent. So there was anti-incumbency as far as the Congress is concerned. We'll have to wait and see a lot of things at play as far as this election is concerned. And in any election, it's a combination of factors that make any party win or lose, not singularly one important thing.
Well, we'll slip into a short break now. Lots of, the key players, politicians out there casting their votes and, giving us those interviews. We'll take a short break and come back with more of that.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. international story India is closely watching. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकार के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily, these Congress people charging corruption charges. A BJP manifesto has completely failed. I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artist.
Welcome back. Voting for Karnataka underway. We've been bringing you all the reactions coming in as the people of the state finally go out and cast their vote for the 224-member state assembly. We've been focusing a lot, Ankit, on Bengaluru and hoping that Bengaluru manages to redeem itself and have a better turnout this time around. It's interesting that a lot of the voters have been saying that it's a weekday. Perhaps it'll be a better turnout because the last time around, I think a lot of Bangaloreans just took a long holiday and didn't cast their vote.
Extended weekend for most people when it was close to that. But we are hoping that the trend would be reversed. Many prominent Bengalurans are coming out in the morning and voting. Hopefully, that is going to set the tone for the other citizens of the city as well. Take a look at a few of the prominent names that my colleague Shrija caught up with.
So finally, the day is here. And after all that aggressive campaigns and what we have seen, what are you sensing? Like, you have any idea at all what's happening and how is the wave towards which?
As far as my party is concerned, we had a very aggressive, positive campaign throughout. It's already about 6 months we had started our campaign. And it was a very successful campaign also. Meticulously we had decided how to campaign. And as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party campaign was totally negative, and they never bothered to speak on the public issues. They were just, as usual, rhetoric. They went to their religion, their caste, their language. Instead of listening to the woes of the people, Prime Minister in his first speech itself said that Congress had abused him for 91 times. Oh my goodness, people had not come to hear this. He has come as a Prime Minister. He's not the President of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He should have come as a, when he comes as a Prime Minister of the country, he should speak the problem of the people, not the problem of his own problem. This is the problem with BJP.
Okay, so you have cast your vote, yes? You've cast your vote and... Yes, great. Also, if, in this constituency, since you have cast your vote, some of the key issues that have been failed to, be addressed in the last few years, which are the areas that need focus?
Actually,
What is your appeal from the voters?
Karnataka. This is Karnataka. The official language is Kannada. You are all asking questions in English. ಮನವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮತ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಮನವಿ.
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಸೀದಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ? ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಹೋಗಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಏನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದ್ ಮನೆ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನಂತ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 4 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಸಾಧನೆ ಶೂನ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು 19 ಬಾರಿ ರ್ಯಾಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇನು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಏನು ಅವರು ಬೆಲೆ ಏರಿಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, ನಿರುದ್ಯೋಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, 40% ಕಮಿಷನ್. ಅವ್ರು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು. ಆ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾಕೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ?
confidence that the Congress has in terms of this particular election.
You are totally confident.
I've been consistently telling, after observing the people of the Karnataka, that Congress party would get 130 plus seats. It may go to 150 also. 130 ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳು ಕನಿಷ್ಠ 150 ಸ್ಥಾನದೊಳಗೆ ಗೆಲ್ತೀವಿ.
Congress would grab at least more than 130 seats.
ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ಅವಲಂಬನೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಜನ ಬೇಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ,
ಆಡಳಿತ ವಿರೋಧಿ ಅಲೆ ಇದೆ. ಆಂಟಿ ಇನ್ಕಂಬೆನ್ಸಿ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಇನ್ಕಂಬೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವಿರುದ್ಧ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಈ ಸಾರಿ 100ಕ್ಕೆ 100 ಗೆದ್ದೇ ಗೆಲ್ತದೆ. It is a fake letter. It is a fake letter. Said to have been written to AICC president alleging some allegations against Shiv Kumar. It's a fake letter. It is not my letter at all. ಹಿಂದಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ.
ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ, ನೀನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ತರ್ಜುಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ?
ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು ಬೇಕಂತ ಸೋಮಣ್ಣ ನಿಲ್ಸಿದ್ರು ವರುಣ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಹೌ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಆಫ್ ವಿನಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸರ್?
I am 100% confident I will win this election.
Message for the young voters. Message for the young voters. Only 10% will now voter turnout has been.
No, please exercise your right. Please go to the poll and exercise your right. Don't wish from exercising your votes. See, and I request the voter to vote for the party which works, which functions, and also take care of the poor people of the society.
ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಿಹಿ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ? ಈ ಮೈಸೂರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಿಹಿ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ ತಮ್ಮಿಂದ?
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಮೈಸೂರು
ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ನವರು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಮ್ಮೆಲೆಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ವುಡ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಪವರ್. ಆ ಸಿಹಿ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಬಿಗ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಬಿಗ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಕರಾರುವಾಗ್ತದೆ.
1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಗೆಲ್ಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಜನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು. 1 ಲಕ್ಷದ ಅಂತರದಿಂದ ಗೆಲ್ಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಮತದಾರರು ನೀವು.
ಕೇಳೋದು ಬೇರೆ, ಬರೋದು ಬೇರೆ.
So your supporters have been hoping that you become the chief minister of Karnataka, sir. Many supporters are still here. We hear them echo that. What is?
You also want to?
Yeah, I also want, sir. I also want, sir.
You also want? Then?
ಮೈಸೂರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಹಿ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ನಾವು.
It all depend upon. See, ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. I can't decide. Elected MLAs and high-command.
He is talking about who will become the chief minister and place.
ಮಾವನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಸಿದ್ದೇಗೌಡರು
ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು.
waiting for 5 promises.
After we come to power, first cabinet meeting itself, we will decide and pass orders.
Sir, what will be impact of Karnataka result on the 2024 election if Congress gets majority in Karnataka Assembly election?
The future of the country is also involved in this election.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Up. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artist out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for 2. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily, these Congress people charging corruption charges.
BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant. 20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it.
Welcome back. Voting underway for Karnataka for the 224 member assembly, and we've been reporting from the ground. Lots of, as you can see there, you can see Tejasvi Surya casting his vote, and in Bengaluru the hope is that the city manages to redeem itself given the voter apathy there that is being talked about. And now you've had the Congress, the BJP and JDS all fighting it out on the campaign trail. The Congress and the BJP fighting it out in several seats where the JDS could play the kingmaker when the results come. Remember, it has a bastion of about 61 seats, so it's hoping to hold on to those seats and be in a position to help form the government. Though, of course, we've seen statements being made both by the BJP and Congress that they're going to get a majority, all of them quoting 120, 130 seats for them. Well, let's just take a look at what some of the leaders had to say. One of the first to cast his vote was former Chief Minister of Karnataka, B.S. Yediyurappa, who is not contesting. Remember, he's retired from active politics, from the electoral politics. Rather, his son is contesting. Here's what he had to say.
Vijayendra is going to get more than 40,000 votes here, and the entire state will get absolute majority, and we are going to form the government. There is no doubt about it, and people's response is very good. Whenever I tour in the state, the response was very good. On that basis, I am telling you that we are going to get absolute majority. More than 125 to 130 seats in the state we are going to win. Here about 40,000 margins. Vijayendra is going to win.
I am very happy with the way our party has conducted the campaign for last 3 months, and I am very happy the way the people have responded, and I am very happy the way our workers have really toiled hard to make this victory a reality.
Bombay sir, do you want to appeal something to the voters of Karnataka today?
Yeah, I just want to say that please come and vote to the success of democracy and development of Karnataka.
Today, young voters have got a great opportunity. Rajiv Gandhi gave them an opportunity from 21 to 18. I think this is the festival of democracy. They will vote for a change. I have already requested all of them, congratulated them, and they will vote for a change. The change for a progressive Karnataka, for a development Karnataka, to make Karnataka a global Karnataka again. And they all know about the price rise, they know about the corruption. They wanted to arrive at the corruption in the state. I'm sure they will go for a change. They will give us 141 seats. I'm confident that Congress party will form the government.
All right, DK Shiv Kumar there after visiting a temple this morning ahead of casting his vote. Now in Bengaluru, we also spoke to Infosys founder and one of the most eminent Bangaloreans, Narayan Murthy, who was there early morning in line to cast his vote. And he said that he hopes people in Bangalore will turn out. He said that if you don't come and cast your vote, you have no right to complain.
We have with us Mr. Narayan Murthy, who's talking to us about having exercised this franchise. So what were the key issues that you had in mind before exercising your franchise?
No, I think as a responsible citizen, my first responsibility is to vote for the person that I think is in the best position to make a difference. What difference? Difference in terms of development, in terms of the life of the people, life of the urban lower middle class people, urban poor, as well as urban middle class, urban upper middle class, and the rural one. Because we are in some way adding to a member of the Legislative Assembly who will obviously add to the number of seats that the government will get, and that government has a responsibility for rural Karnataka too. So I would say that I would always think of rural, urban Karnataka and rural Karnataka.
So Bengaluru has always been known for its voter apathy. What will be your message to Bengaluru voters?
No, I think that is very sad, because if we do not exercise our responsibility once in 5 years, how can we criticize the legislators for not doing their work to the level that we want? First, I have to do my duty to the full satisfaction of the electorate, and then that gives me right to say anything that I want. That's the.
So do you think that elections today is no longer about infrastructure and development, but more about communal politics?
No, I don't know. In the circles that I move, we generally think in terms of issues that are important to all classes of people, to all economic classes, to all social classes, to all education levels of people, and to both urban and rural India. So we don't view voting as just making Jayanagar a better place. No. So therefore, I think we all rise above those issues. We wish for a government that will compare itself with the best city that is similar to Bangalore on the global map, and we want our leaders to aspire to make sure that Bangalore is up there.
My final question to you, sir. You're one of the prominent figures representing the IT city and the IT world, and especially the recent floods and things like that. Do you think that that has tarnished the image of Bengaluru?
No, I mean, I travel a little bit outside India nowadays, not as much as I used to earlier. I think these are all things that have happened in different cities all over the world. Therefore, there is a certain sympathy, but they all want this aspirational child of ours, Bangalore, to overcome all those minor issues and make sure that Bangalore earns its legitimate right as the best city in the world.
Gadget360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget360, Gadget Up. Gadget360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily, this Congress people charging corruption charges.
BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight.
Welcome back. Let's get you the latest now from Pakistan, and asserting that the ongoing nationwide protests will continue until the release of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. His party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, has instructed the leaders, workers and supporters to all gather in protest. So they're gathering to protest outside of the Supreme Court. Senior PTI leader Fawad Chaudhry has said the party will be approaching the Supreme Court to challenge the Islamabad High Court's order upholding of Imran Khan's arrest, and he termed this decision as surprising. Imran Khan yesterday was arrested outside the Islamabad High Court by Rangers. It was a dramatic and shocking arrest that took place suddenly. This was on the National Accountability Bureau's warrant in the Al-Qadir Trust case. Islamabad High Court has termed the arrest as legal. According to the charges, Imran Khan and others are accused of allegedly adjusting 50 billion rupees, that's 190 million pounds at the time, sent by Britain's National Crime Agency to the government, adjusting it in that trust. And since his dramatic arrest there, protests erupted in Pakistan. PTI workers protested in cities across the country, setting buildings on fire, taking on the army as well. And protests were seen in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Karachi, Peshawar and Mardan. So the situation there extremely vulnerable and a lot of tension. As you can see, protesters out on the streets, and now PTI asking for its supporters and leaders to come out in protest. Now the US Embassy has cancelled all consular appointments and told its staffers to exercise heightened vigilance and avoid any crowded locations. So really all countries watching very closely what is happening currently in Pakistan with the surprising arrest of Imran Khan yesterday. The ex-Prime Minister will not be brought to court, and the hearing will take place at the location where he is currently under custody. So he will not be brought out physically, and the hearing in his case will take place at the location where he is.
Chaos and pandemonium as former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was arrested by the Pakistani Rangers. This inside the Islamabad High Court premises. The forces even breaking window panes to get to the 70-year-old. These shots, tweeted by Imran Khan's party, showed him being led to a government vehicle by multiple armed paramilitary personnel. Minutes before his dramatic arrest, Imran Khan had tweeted this video message saying he was ready to go to jail.
सवाल मेरा ये है कि क्या एक मुल्क का एक्स प्राइम मिनिस्टर, क्योंकि इस आदमी का नाम आ गया, मैं अपना एफआईआर नहीं कटवा सका? पता तो सच और झूठ तब चले जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती, एफआईआर इसके खिलाफ होती, इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती. अगर ये बेकसूर था, सामने आ जाना था.
In another video on Instagram, released soon after his arrest, Imran Khan can be heard predicting his arrest.
मेरे पाकिस्तानियों, जब तक ये मेरे अल्फाज आप तक पहुंचेंगे, मुझे एक नाजायज केस के अंदर बंद कर दिया होगा. इससे एक चीज आप सबको वाज़ेह हो जानी चाहिए कि पाकिस्तान में जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स हैं, जो हमारे आइन हमें हुकूक देता है, जो जमहूरियत है, वो दफन हो चुकी है.
Imran Khan's arrest led to multiple protests in different cities, with the police using baton charges and water cannons to control the situation, and claiming that things are normal in the country. The Pakistan government said Imran Khan was arrested in a case of alleged fraudulent land transfer worth 530 million Pakistani rupees. A senior minister said that Imran Khan had failed to appear before the National Accountability Bureau despite being issued several notices. Bureau Report, NDTV.
All right, moving on to news now from Tamil Nadu, where Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has expanded his cabinet for the second time since assuming office in May 2021. And according to the official release from the Raj Bhavan, Tamil Nadu Dairy Development Minister S.M. Nasser has been dropped and T.R.B. Raja has been included in the Council of Ministers. Let's go across to Sam for more. And Sam, the big speculation was, of course, about the Finance Minister, PTR. He, however, seems to have survived this reshuffle.
That's right, Gargi. At the moment, what we know for sure is that one minister will be dropped. That's the Dairy Development Minister Nasser, and one MLA would be inducted as minister. That's T.R.B. Raja, the son of veteran DMK leader T.R. Balu. But whether Mr. Palanivel Thiagarajan, the finance minister who has survived this particular exercise, would he suffer any change in portfolios? That's the big question. Conflicting reports coming from the DMK sources, at least two sources we spoke to, they suggest that Mr. Palanivel Thiagarajan's portfolio could be changed. He could be made the new IT minister. That's what at least two sources from the DMK have told us. Of course, we should clarify all these are in the realm of speculation, and ultimately it's the Chief Minister's prerogative. And what they also say is that the present Industries Minister, Thangam Thennarasu, could be the next Finance Minister, and the new inductee, T.R.B. Raja, could be the new Industries Minister. That's what they say. We'll have to wait and see how this develops. But the speculation over Mr. Palanivel Thiagarajan is because of two unverified audios which came into the public domain recently, which was, at least one was released by the Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai. He claims that the person who is making corruption allegations in those audio files, that person is none but the finance minister PTR himself, he alleges. In that audio, that particular voice is heard saying, in one audio he's heard saying that Udayanidhi Stalin, the Chief Minister's son, and Sabaris and his son-in-law have made 30,000 crore rupees after they captured power in Tamil Nadu. In another audio, which again we cannot independently verify, which was released by Annamalai himself, in which that particular person is heard, that particular voice is heard saying that both these persons, Udayanidhi Stalin and Sabaris, take the bulk of the spoils. That's what he says. And Mr. Palanivel Thiagarajan, in two different statements, one including a video response, has denied these allegations, calling these fabricated. He had also cited or shared video examples of deep dive fakes, saying that these are nothing but an attempt to drive a wedge between him and the Chief Minister himself, and saying nothing would work. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin himself has denied, saying that he would not want to respond about this after the clarification by the Finance Minister, saying that this will only give publicity for rumour mongers. This is the first cabinet rejig in that sense Mr. M.K. Stalin has made. With regard to the exit of one minister, recently in an unverified video, he was seen pelting stones at somebody for delay in getting him a chair. That's something party sources say could be the reason for him to be shown the door. Gargi.
All right, Sam, thanks so much for joining us. With that, so that's the big news coming out from Tamil Nadu with that reshuffle taking place, and will PTR survive it? With that, time for us to slip into a short break, and remember, we'll get you the latest as polling day is underway in Karnataka.
Gadget360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget360, Gadget Love. Gadget360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया, उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते।
welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Gargi Rawat and Ankit here with me, and we're getting you the latest from Karnataka as voters are out there exercising their rights, and who will dominate, that's something we'll find out on the 13th. But right now the focus is on voter turnout and whether, at least in Bengaluru, it'll redeem itself and have a better turnout than last time, isn't it, Ankit?
Absolutely. Important elections taking place in the state of Karnataka. Fourth assembly election for this year. There are, 5 more to go for 2023 before the year closes, and of course the big election of 2024, the battle for the general election starts. But important what is happening in Karnataka, because it will have an impact not only on the state and its future, but also on the national political scene. Can the Congress win the state in its big effort for revival? The Bharatiya Janata Party...
It's very do or die for the Congress,
absolutely. Really. Battle for them. And for the BJP, the only southern state where the Bharatiya Janata Party has its presence, the BJP would want to hold on to it and create history.
The BJP really hoping to, go against the jinx of the revolving door. For 38 years,
that's right.
Karnataka has never voted back a government, and the BJP hoping to break that. We've seen the kind of effort that was put into the campaign with the Prime Minister himself also for 3 days, though that is of course a signature of Prime Minister Modi, that he really puts in all the energy, all the effort into every campaign. And in Karnataka as well, he was there for 3 days during the last days of campaigning.
Very, very important. The Prime Minister leading the campaign from the front. There is Tejasvi Surya, Member of Parliament for the Bharatiya Janata Party from Bengaluru South. His area of influence is also going to be very important. Remember, he was not part of the star campaigners of the BJP. A subtle message there as well. Let's query quickly for what is the message, the mood on the ground in Bengaluru. Go across to our colleague Pratibha, who is joining us at this moment. Pratibha, we've been talking about the voting percentage since morning. I think about 10 o'clock it's crossed 8%. Is Bengaluru looking in mood to reverse that trend, buck that trend of lower voter turnout?
That's right. In fact, right since morning, people have been assembling in many of the polling booths, standing in long queues despite the heat, despite the sultry weather here, and all of them braving all of this only to ink their finger. One of the biggest advantages this time when it comes to Karnataka election is that it falls on a weekday and not on a weekend. And I have a voter with me here. So do you think that, the voting percentage, which now stands at 8.26%, do you think that this is definitely going to increase, buck the trend of, Bengaluru being known for voter apathy?
Yes. It's very important for every person of the state to vote. So it's a very big responsibility that needs to be taken up by every citizen of the state. So you cannot complain about the country or the state if you do not vote. So that is one for sure. And also the national issues must be addressed by the person who is going to win this election. This is not only about the state issues. We have poverty, we have employment issues, and we also have basic sanitization. So this needs to be taken care of all across the country and the state.
So when you cast your vote, you're not just thinking about the basic infrastructure or basic amenities, but you're also looking at national issues, is what you say?
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Yes.
And what about you, sir? When it comes to voter apathy in Bengaluru, this time it falls on a weekday, so do you think it's going to be advantage?
Yeah, sure, it will be a very advantage, because as the election commissioner also, they have decided it should be on weekday, because since previous elections they have faced it, because people are followed by weekend, people are traveling, and this is the right decision what they've taken, and it would be a good voting system.
Right. So what will be the key issues that you will keep in mind?
Developments. First of all is development, employment, opportunities, and those things mainly.
So when it comes to thank you so much, sir. When it comes to Puttanahalli, what are the major changes that you have seen, and do you think you have any kind of problems when it comes to Puttanahalli?
No, there's a lot of development at Puttanahalli, and really good it is.
So there has been some amount of development in Puttanahalli, which is one of the polling booths that I'm standing here. In fact, this morning I was at Jayanagar, where that polling booth was home to a lot of senior citizens. But this time around, we see people from all walks of life, several women voters as well, who have turned out in large numbers. And to give you a sense of the number of voters in Karnataka, we stand at around 5 crore odd eligible voters who would be looking at or visiting around 58,000 polling stations across Karnataka, and around 2,000 and odd candidates who are in the fray, and Bengaluru voter turnout from 55% in 2018.
To where we can see the man who hopes to become Chief Minister should the Congress come to pass, Siddaramaiah, after casting his vote. Let's just listen if we can hear what he's saying.
Minimum 130, maximum 150 seats we will get. Congress party would come back to power on its own with comfortable majority.
has said that they are very much confident of coming with good majority and they will be forming the government.
All parties are confident. Ultimately, the counting will decide.
You also told that this is going to be the last election and this is also
as far as I am concerned, electoral politics is my last election. This is going to be my last election. I will continue in active politics. I am not going to retire. I am not going to retire, but I am not going to contest again.
Sir, please,
Shit. Okay, so Siddaramaiah, the man who hopes to be at the helm of affairs if the Congress wins the election, one of the chief ministerial hopeful, but and also
fighting his last election.
You remember, Gagi, that the survey that we had done on the various issues of Karnataka, he came out to be the most popular leader as far as the CM choice is concerned, with over 40% vote in our survey being polled for, in fact, Mr. Siddaramaiah. So he's quite a potent force, and this whole bit
he
that he's going to
there in his car, still the mic's in his face, and it seems
one thing I have after going to various states to cover election, one thing I have seen in Karnataka, the leaders are more accessible than in most states. I mean, you can walk to the office of Mr. Siddaramaiah, wait outside, he will come out and speak to you, and same with other leaders across political parties and lines as well. In election rallies also, it's not difficult to get those chief ministers and bigger faces than it is in other states, and specifically in North India.
Right, Ankit, also in the run-up to this election, as far as the Congress is concerned, the big talking point was the rivalry between Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, the Congress president in the state. But for the moment, it does seem that they have managed to, override that. We saw that video being released by DKS in which they're chatting and he's inquiring about Siddaramaiah's health. Yesterday, there was that visual of both of them jointly going to a temple. So for the moment, after results, we don't know. But for the moment, it seems that they've overcome that.
I think it's a realization in the Congress party of how crucial this election is, that they don't want the personal rivalry between both these two tall leaders of the Congress party to in any way hamper the chances of the Congress winning this election if the voters decide to do so. Let's also go across to our guests, those who are joining us at this moment. Aditi Fadnis, political editor, Business Standard, is with us. We also have Geeta Bhatt, political analyst. Thank you so much to both of you ladies and for joining us. Aditi, I want to start by asking you, what are the broad strokes? What is the big picture, important points that you are looking at as Karnataka is voting at this moment?
So you had a little while ago a scroll saying triangular contest, JDS, BJP, Congress. I would say that it's actually a triangular contest in the BJP, JDS and Congress. So I don't know what is going to happen finally in the election, what the outcome is going to be, and I'm not going to speculate on this. But there is no doubt that for leadership, there are triangular contests in all the three other parties.
Right. If we can talk about what are the overriding issues you think were playing out in this election. We're told that in Karnataka, it's all very local issues. It's local leaders as well. We've seen the Congress trying to reach, and all parties reaching out to the women voters. We also saw the issue of a Bajrang Dal and the cry of Bajrang Bali during some of the rallies of the BJP. So which are the big issues that you see that were really playing out in this election?
Well, I think infrastructure, development, jobs, these are all very, very important issues, particularly for urban areas like Bengaluru. Also in Bengaluru and in North Karnataka, There are other issues of water, there are issues of drought, of problems of access, whereas in South Karnataka, it is largely going to be agriculture and agriculture-related issues. So there are many urban centers, and given the kind of mess that Bengaluru is in terms of infrastructure, in terms of development, and also the levels of corruption, I think these things are going to be very, very important in the election.
Geeta Bhatt, is that the reason why we saw the Bharatiya Janata Party taking on these issues of, Bajrang Dal and Bajrang Bali, the Prime Minister leading it from the front, because you knew that there are too many issues that the incumbent government is facing. So to try and take people away, the focus away from the local issues where the Congress was trying to make it hyper-local, the BJP chose overarching campaign with the Prime Minister and broad, polarizing issues that many people are calling it.
Well, Ankit, I think that the various issues, especially of Bajrang Dal and Bajrang Bali being, one of the important aspects which was discussed in many rallies, this was because we do have to look into it that it was because the Congress, when it came that they are going to do a comparison between Bajrang Dal and PFI, trying to compare Bajrang Dal with Popular Front of India, which is a banned organization by the government. That is how this whole issue about the Bajrang Bali entering into the campaign, it started. And this was something which actually has hurt many sentiments within Karnataka. Yes, definitely the development issue, the development of infrastructure, the issue as a metro which Bangalore is facing, all these issues definitely have a concern. And if you look at the development aspect, there are many, whether it is in terms of infrastructure of roads, I think across India, including in Karnataka, the way government has been investing into it, and we have seen that how well the whole road network across the country has been developed. Also in terms of the new international airport which has come up in Bengaluru, and various such development work has been done, in spite of the fact that yes, much more needs to be done.
Okay.
At the same time, there are various such type of issues, ideological issues, and issues which touch a common man's heart, which have come up during the discourse or during the narratives that different political parties have tried to set in.
But
for example, Congress,
may I say, just speaking about this Bajrang Dal issue, does it touch, and Aditi, if you may come in on this, does it touch the common man? Because Bajrang Dal, even in Karnataka, if you travel across, it's not a big political entity. They are not, in fact, a group which many people associate with. They are a fringe group.
Ankit, it played out a lot on the national media, and here in Delhi, we spoke a lot about it. But on the ground, Aditi, what do you feel?
Okay, before you answer that, let's very quickly, the third player, as we have been talking about, finally emerging. JDS's Mr. Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister, has been Chief Minister both with the BJP and the Congress. At this moment on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, 13 months, remember his last stint with the Congress party. When the Congress and the JDS came together to form the government, he was the Chief Minister at that point of time. And then, of course, we saw how 17 MLAs of the Congress party broke away and the BJP came back to power. But in the old Mysuru region, that's what most people are saying. That's where the election this time is going to be decided. And this man, and behind him, you can see, he could be the kingmaker, joker in the pack, or the king himself. You never know. But behind him is his son, Nikhil Kumaraswamy. He's also fighting the election from the party bastion of Ramnagar, and that's also the place, Gargi, interestingly, where Sholay movie was shot. There is a hill called the Sholay Hill in this constituency. But very, very important it would be for any political analysts and pundits to say how much of that stronghold can the JDS see this time, because it is also, in a way, it will give you a lot of broad strokes on national politics of how, in this fight between the Congress and the BJP, what happens to the regional satraps. That is going to be a very, very interesting trend to look at once the elections results are out.
Let's just listen if we can hear.
I think he's standing in the queue for voting. So he's standing in the queue. That's such a nice thing, and we've been talking about since morning. Even the VVIPs are standing in the queue voting for, their turn, unlike you will see in most places of North India. Anyway, let's go on.
Let's go back to Aditi. We were asking you about the whole issue of Bajrang Dal and Bajrang Bali. While it dominated over the last few days on the national news media, how big an impact did it have, or do you think it had on the ground?
Well, to be honest, I was not on the ground, so I don't know. But I don't think Bajrang Dal has the kind of traction that that it has in the northern part of India, because let's face it, Bajrang as an entity exists in a different form in South India. It doesn't really resound with people in South India when you speak of Bajrang Bali. Bajrang Bali exists in a different form in South India. So I'm not sure if Bajrang Dal per se has any traction. Of course, equation of Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India may get some response, but that response will be largely from people who feel strongly about this issue. As you know, there is no election is a single point election. I beg your pardon?
Communal issues overall, do you feel that that is something that does not have much of a traction? It's all mainly local issues, developmental issues is what you were speaking about, is what dominates, the voters' mind.
I would say the development issues are topmost in voters' minds. In some places, issues relating to communalism, relating to religion could become important, but there are many layers to religion in particularly in Karnataka, and caste is a very important layer in that. The Lingayat identity is equally important. The Vokaliga identity is equally important, and so it's quite complex. So I don't think a single point issue equating Bajrang Dal with PFI or Bajrang Dal on its own is going to have the kind of impact that the BJP hopes it will have.
And that's why Karnataka is different. I mean, it would have had, like Aditi was saying, it would have had a larger impact maybe in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, but not the same kind of impact in Karnataka, where the caste identification is quite important. And Anjaneya, as people call Bajrang Bali there, not a political issue in that sense, maybe in certain pockets of coastal Karnataka, but not on the whole. The BJP, interestingly, Geeta Bhatt, has always kept one-arm distance from Bajrang Dal, which many in Karnataka see as a nuisance factor. When they talk about Bajrang Dal, they talk about Valentine's Day and the kind of attacks that they see on young couples, not something which is generalized or which is accepted largely across the state of Karnataka. So in that sense, trying to equate Bajrang Dal with Bajrang Bali may be a double-edged sword. It may work, it may even backfire.
Well, you see, we have to at least notice one point that Bajrang Dal, some people may have this kind of a perception about them, but they have largely been working for the human eternal, Hindu human eternal values, whether it is in terms of, they may have started, the initiation was from when the Ram Mandir movement had started, but later on, after 1993, when they formally their units were established all across the country, they have been doing a lot of seva work. They have been, associated, whether it has been during the times of floods or any kind of a calamity. They have been, they have their presence on the ground. And you see, the point here is that it is a particular thought when you are trying to, when Congress party came up with this idea of putting Bajrang Dal and equating it with Popular Front of India. I think that is something which is not going to be digested with any strata of the society.
Okay.
It is something that we need to keep in mind. Also, along with it, if you look at the fact that when the communal issue was being talked about, let us not forget that it was in Karnataka itself during when there was in KG Halli and DJ Halli police station was burned because there was some kind of a social media post was put up by an MLA's relative, and how more than 2,000 people had gathered a police station and burned down the police station. This happened in Karnataka. So,
you know, all those
these
things
are
have been
issues which
discussed
are-
quite
Yes.
extensively as far as the campaign is concerned. Kumaraswamy there just along with his family has cast his vote in Ramnagar. We'll have to shift our focus. In fact, ladies, thank you so much,
Thank you so much for joining us.
joining us at this moment. Let's just very quickly listen into what Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy is saying at this moment.
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಮತದಾನ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ ನಾಡಿನ ಜನತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮತವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸರಿಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮನವಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ನೋವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಹಲವಾರು ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ.
All right, well, let's move away now from Karnataka elections and go across to Rajasthan, where the Prime Minister is holding a roadshow just now as he visits the Srinath Ji temple in Nath Dwara, where he's going to be announcing several projects there. So, yes, another roadshow there, Ankit.
And, you know, I can't think of it anything which has not been timed meticulously. It is not a coincidence that Karnataka is voting, and the Prime Minister, of course, is in a different state, though. This is in some way, many would call it circumventing the Election Commission guidelines as far as the elections are concerned. But at this moment, you can see the Prime Minister being welcomed there. And this has become, Gargi, such a trademark Narendra Modi style, the road show, you know, the shower of flower petals on the Prime Minister.
Yes,
it's
and all
almost
the crowds
become like
on the
a
side having all those
textbook Prime Minister move.
Flower petals to throw on the Prime Minister's car. It's all, you can see the BJP flags are all out there and all these visuals on a day that Karnataka is also voting. Let's go across to Harsha for more. And Harsha, so tell us about the Prime Minister's visit today. Earlier on, we saw visuals of him being, you know, greeted by the Governor and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot as he arrived there, and now this roadshow taking place.
Well, yes, there are going to be two road shows, in fact, today in the course of the day. One is, of course, the Nath Dwara, which is the temple town. And after that, there will be a road show at, you know, in Abu Road, again, bordering Gujarat. Now, remember last time when the Prime Minister had gone to Abu and it had become 10 o'clock at night and he could not, you know, speak to people. In fact, he said, I'll come back again because the crowd had been waiting for him. And he said that I'll come back again because I don't want to, you know, break the guidelines laid down by the Supreme Court that loudspeakers should not be allowed after 10 o'clock at night. But clearly, like you're saying, of course, there's going to be a lot of development works. For example, rail lines. Udaipur railway station is also going to get a makeover because remember, it's a very, very big station as far as tourists are concerned, domestic tourists are concerned. Also for Nath Dwara. Because that's a place where you know, a large number of people come to the Nath Dwara temple. So you know, these kind of works are going to get a boost with the Prime Minister going there. The Chief Minister has also gone there, you know, because these things are in Rajasthan and these are infrastructure projects. But you know, knowing that political platform with the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister both from opposing parties on the stage, you can expect some political repartee. Definitely. Some political repartee from the Prime Minister can be expected. And like Ankit was saying, probably some kind of a, you know, comment which is not really, I mean, like you said, you know, not in that sense circumventing the guidelines, but yes, even as Karnataka votes, two road shows thousands of miles away in Rajasthan.
You know, Harshani also is in the state at a time when Sachin Pilot yesterday did an explosive press conference and all out, you know, gloves are off as far as Mr. Gehlot and Mr. Pilot are concerned. So we can expect the Prime Minister to, you know, say something about that as well. Remember when there was that train inauguration, he did take a jibe at Mr. Gehlot saying that, you know, it's good that you have joined despite the political uncertainty that you are facing.
Yes, he absolutely. He said political, राजनीतिक उठापटक. He said राजनीतिक उठापटक के बावजूद आप यहाँ पर आए हैं. आपका बहुत-बहुत आभार है. So it's absolutely possible. In fact, not only possible, I think it's inevitable. And of course, then Ashok ji also, who at one level I think enjoys this kind of political repartee, will also come up with his, counter sort of. Statement. But definitely, I mean, this is a political stage. It may be away from Karnataka, but it's definitely going to send a message right across the country because, of course, wherever the PM goes, he's covered. Also, politically, to tell you, this is really the BJP's bastion. Udaipur, Nathdwara, even Abu Road. I mean, in the 22 Vidhan Sabha seats, there 17 are held by the BJP. And this is, in fact, a textbook case of how the tribal vote has also shifted to the BJP, propelling it to power. So in that sense, this area is a textbook example of how grassroots work done by the BJP has actually turned the tribal vote towards them.
All right. So thanks so much, Harsha, for joining us with that. So on the day Karnataka's voting, Prime Minister on this very high-profile visit to Rajasthan, holding a road show and visiting temples, going to announce, several infrastructure projects as well. So yes, having the, media attention on this day as well. We'll slip into a short break now and return with more.
Since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily these Congress people charging corruption charges.
BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadget 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadget 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome back. Well, let's get you now the latest from Karnataka as voting is underway and it's been on for a few hours now. And there you can see visuals as you've had all this, a lot of the big faces casting their votes. DK Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah. You've had Basavaraj Bomai casting his vote this morning and also speaking to us. Very prominent Bangaloreans also coming out and entreating that, you know, let everybody come out and cast their vote today. Interesting also the fact that it's a weekday and that's also being spoken of. But a very, very key election being fought between the Congress, the BJP and JDS, which is hoping to be the kingmaker as they have their bastion of 61 seats. And Ankit, so they really, the key to see how they do and whether they hold on to, you know, majority of their bastion.
I think this election is going to be the election which will be decided in the OMR, the Old Mysuru region, in where the JDS is very, very strong. Last time also they polled more seats and voting percentage as far as the Vocaliga voters are concerned in this region. The Congress and the BJP both have been trying to make massive inroads. It's not that the Congress doesn't get the Vocaliga vote, but of course the number one party which attracts the Vocaliga vote, of course, is the JDS, and the Congress would be hoping that if they have to win this election, they can reverse that trend. Let's very quickly just give our viewers a little bit sense of how Karnataka is placed, the regions, and you know, we keep talking about various regions, the Old Mysore region. Where are the seats and what is the voting pattern there? All right, one important factor, one important man is Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president in this election. Listen.
और डेवलपमेंट भी होता है, इसलिए लोग चाहते हैं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आए और हमको सभी जो रिपोर्ट मिल रहे हैं अच्छा तरीके से चुनाव चल रहा है और कांग्रेस पार्टी थम्पिंग मेजॉरिटी से चुनाव जीतेगी।
सर, अभी जो 5 गारंटी के बारे में आप बताए थे और आप बोला कि सरकार कांग्रेस बनाए हुए तो फर्स्ट कैबिनेट में सभी अप्रूव करेंगे, उसके बारे में क्या बोले?
ये तो पहले ही बोले हम, जब पहले कैबिनेट मीटिंग में पहले ही दिन हम 5 गारंटी अप्रूव करेंगे और अप्रूव करने के लिए मैं पूरा उनको ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड देम एंड दे विल डेफिनेटली डू इट एंड व्हेन वी हैव प्रॉमिस्ड पीपल, हम जब लोगों को कहे हैं डेफिनेटली उसके तहत हम एक्ट करेंगे।
कितने सीट्स आएंगे सर कर्नाटक में आपका कांग्रेस के?
ज्यादा से ज्यादा आएंगे, ये मेरी उम्मीद है। जो अब जीतने के लिए तो 113-14 सीट की जरूरत है, लेकिन हम करीब 130-35 के ऊपर जाने वाले।
आज पोलिंग डे है, लोगों को क्या बोलना चाहते हैं?
So there you had Mr. Kharge speaking on just after casting his vote, and there Chief Minister Basavaraj Bomai also a lot of pressure on him, though everybody, you know, sounding very upbeat, be it Congress or BJP, all saying that they're going to get that 120, 130 votes. But Ankit, let's talk about, you know, the breakup and the region. You're talking about the Old Mysuru region, and that is one of the, that's the bastion of the JDS. Congress really hoping to make a dent there.
Yes. 224 seats in Karnataka, and you know, as we have been saying that the various regions of Karnataka vote very differently. The various patterns are seen in those elections. So let's just very quickly take a look at the voting patterns in various regions that we have seen, and this is the comparison of 2018, of what happened in 2018, and assembly election. So we are comparing 2013 and 2018 assembly election. That gives you a sense, ladies and gentlemen, of how this election is poised now. Historical data. Look at that. In 2013, the BJP got 36.6% vote. So BJP, even in 2018, was almost the similar voting percentage.
And they held on to that vote share in 36.6% to just 36.3%. Though look at the seats, 122 in 2013 to 104. The Congress, though, did make a big comeback in 2018 with 38.04% of the vote share.
All right, let's take a look at the Lok Sabha voting pattern as well, how things are poised as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned. In 2014 Lok Sabha election, the BJP got 17, the Congress got 9, and the JDS was able to win 2 seats. But cut to 2019 Lok Sabha election, a clean sweep as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned. 25 for the BJP, 1 for the Congress, and JDS was able to retain 1 seats out of the 2 that it had won in the previous Lok Sabha election. You know, this also tells you that in the 2018 election, where the BJP won comprehensive, or was the single largest party in the state, somewhere people keep talking about the polarization. I think the 2018 to 2019 election is what we saw the peak of the religious polarization as far as Karnataka is concerned, and that could be one reason why the BJP swept this. And remember, Karnataka has 28 seats. It's the 6th largest state in terms of Lok Sabha constituencies, and that is why it becomes such an important election in context of 2024 as well.
And that's why you've seen this stiff fight. The Congress really fighting for survival and really make or break for the Congress, and hoping to turn their fortunes should they win this election, because there are more state elections coming up. Rajasthan's a key election. We just saw the Prime Minister is in Rajasthan right now on the day that Karnataka is voting. But let's talk about now the breakup in terms of the
caste combinations, because that's very, very important as far as Karnataka is concerned. Quite well entrenched, the caste loyalty is there. The Vocaligas that we are talking about, the Vocaliga, important chunk as far as the voter bloc is concerned. And among the Vocaliga voters in the seats which are dominated, about 50 odd seats which are dominated by the Vocaliga voters, look at the concentration and the winning percentage. The BJP got about 23.6% vote in 2018, and 12 seats they were able to win. The Congress 10 seats, though the voting percentage was high, and the reason is because they have been fighting the JDS in the old Mysuru region for the Vocaliga vote. The JDS was able to establish its dominance once again. 37.1% Vocaliga votes and 22 seats went into their kitty as far as the Vocaliga voters are concerned.
The other dominant community, the Lingayat community that we talk about every time, about which way they're going, who they're supporting. The BJP has had the Lingayat support for several years now.
That's right, Lingayats, and if you look at the chief ministers in Karnataka, maximum number of chief ministers has come from the Lingayat community. Of course, Mr. Yedurappa, the most prominent BJP face, the chief minister, 4 times he has been the chief minister, never has been able to complete his term. The BJP very clearly the favourite as far as the Lingayats are concerned. 42.5% vote there for them in 2018 on the Lingayat dominated seats. 47 seats were won by the Bharatiya Janata Party, 38.6% by the Congress. The vote share, 25 seats by the Congress, 5 for the JDS, and 1 went to others. This election, Gargi, would also be important whether the big Lingayat faces Mr. Shettar, Mr.
Exactly.
Lakshman
I was just
Savdi.
going to ask you whether that will have an impact, dent it, divide this vote that the Lingayat has.
I don't know about division, but whether they have an impact as far as the Lingayat votes are concerned. There is further division in terms of Congress gaining a few seats. That would be very, very important, because the Hubli Dharwad area where Mr. Jagdish Shettar comes from, that's where the Congress will be hoping that his presence is going to give them a boost, which is a BJP stronghold. Now let's just take a look very quickly as the elections are going on, and we'll talk about the details, more in details about these seats in the evening when they are going
talking
to the...
about local leaders and how many of them, even if they change their parties, they continue to hold on to their seat. But there's also the flip side of that, are certain seats that that support certain parties, and it doesn't matter who is there, who's contesting, they vote a particular party. So there the BJP has 23 what we call as safe seats.
Yes, so 60 constituencies which largely vote the same party, the same candidate.
Since 2008.
Are considered seats which are bastions of various political parties. Out of those 60 seats, 27 are held by the Congress party, 23 by the Bharatiya Janata Party, 10 by the JDS, all coming from the old Mysuru region, and others that keeps flipping. But the BJP and Congress, quite a close contest. They have their bastions as far as these seats are concerned. Let's also take a look at the various regions and the safe seats in those regions. So if you talk about the Kalyan Karnataka region,
total of 40
seats in this region. 8 are considered as safe seats, which usually, this is also the region where Congress is quite strong. 6 seats to the Congress, and that's also reflected in the safe seats mechanism as well to go with the Bharatiya Janata Party. These are more or less, though I believe
32 seats are all-out contest happening over
that's
there.
true. So 32 seats are still up for grabs. Kittur, Karnataka, 48 seats, 9 are considered safe, 6 for the BJP, 3 for the Congress party. Let's also now shift focus to the other regions of the state. In West Karnataka, overall 32 seats, 5 are considered safe. BJP doing very well, and there 4 for them, 1 for the Congress party. Let's shift focus to South Karnataka, 72 seats, a big chunk. This is also where the old Mysuru region does, of course, also come from. And the 8 seats for the Congress, 8 for the JDS. That tells you
That's
the vocal India
big
impact.
Fight over there.
Absolutely. And the Bengaluru region, the rural and the urban Bengaluru, consisting of 32 seats, 19 are considered safe, 9 for the Congress, 8 for the BJP, neck to neck there, 2 for the JDS. And that's why the Bengaluru region, most people don't expect much of a swing either ways as far as this region is concerned. And that's why there is a saying in Karnataka that Bengaluru, the election of Karnataka is usually decided outside Bengaluru, because more or less the Bengaluru election is decided even before the first vote is
so
cast.
Despite the vote share, now vote share is one thing, converting that into seats is the other thing, and that is where it's key, where it's very close contest that we are seeing on some of those seats. So if we take a look at 2018 and where the margin of victory was less than 5,000, so that tells you how big of a fight it is.
And this could be the crucial factor on whether any political party is able to reach the halfway mark or the majority mark on its own, because as we are showing you, there have been seats which are less than 5,000 votes decided those seats. And which way did those seats go? 8 went to the BJP,
and
19 to the Congress.
Over, yes.
3 to the JDS, 1 in fact to the KPJP, and 31 seats, close contest seats, less than 5,000 margin as far as these seats are concerned. This is where the Congress would be more worried because they won majority of those seats, so these seats can flip. While the Congress would be hoping that they are able to flip these seats from the JDS as well. For the BJP, there lies the opportunity to try and flip the close margin seats, which is where the BJP seems to have focused in the old Mysuru region as well.